Do you know how to protect yourself when an earthquake strikes? Hey, I'm Mario Lopez. Earthquakes can strike anytime, so learning and practicing earthquake safety is a great idea for everyone. Join us, along with millions of people worldwide, to learn how to drop, cover, and hold on during the Great Shakeout. We're all in this together, so make sure your home, workplace, school, and community are planning to shake out.
Join us for the Great Shakeout. Learn more at shakeout.org. Shakeout Day is October 15th.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Do they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Great Online Shakeout, a Facebook Live event. My name is Jason Ballmann. I'm with Great Shakeout Earthquake Drills, and we're so happy that you could be with us and joining us on this wonderful Facebook Live event. Now, remember, we're on Facebook Live, so you can see me, and you can hear me, and you can see and hear all of our presenters. However, we cannot see you. You can comment on the Facebook Live video, and also captioning is available if you go to our bit.ly link, which is bit.ly, displayed here on the screen, bit.ly/shakeoutcc. You will have to have that open as a separate window to view those captions. And now what I'd like to do is just remind everyone that this is International Shakeout Day. This is when most people hold their drills, and we're going to be doing a drill today too, which is really exciting. But let's hand it over to Mark Benthien, my co-coordinator for Great Shakeout Earthquake Drills Worldwide.
Thank you, Jason. And again, thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be joined in a moment by regional guests from the Eastern Time Zone who are coordinators of Shakeout in their states or also in Puerto Rico, as well as the regional coordinator for the Great Southeast Shakeout, Brian Blake. So we'll introduce them in a moment. But just to give an kind of overview of what today's online shakeout is going to include, this introduction bit we're doing right now. Then we'll have the conversation with the leaders from Shakeout from the Eastern Time Zone. And then we'll provide some drill instructions for how to do an earthquake drill, how to be safe during an earthquake when it really happens. We'll do that earthquake drill together right at 10:15. It's October 15th. We're going to do that at 10:15 this morning. And then we'll have some final comments, and that will be it. So we should be done by 10:20 Eastern Time. All right, so just talking about the Great Shakeout Earthquake Drills. You know, it's an annual event, just like we're doing now. People come together to practice earthquake safety, drop, cover, and hold on, and other aspects of their emergency plans. Many people do much more. If we look at last year to this year, we see a big difference in the participation levels. And, you know, it's probably pretty obvious why a lot of people and organizations aren't together in the normal way, especially worldwide. There are countries that normally do annual drills with millions of people that aren't this year. So last year we had record participation in Shakeout across the country and around the world and in many states. This year it's not. However, we're still having many people participate, and we really weren't sure what it was going to be. And it's really exciting to see that so many people are still realizing that earthquakes can still happen. Therefore, we still need to know what to do. And we're also making sure people are aware that while we're talking about doing a drill coming up here at 10:15 on a Thursday morning, that you really can do your drills on any day of the year and any time. And so if you haven't planned an organizational drill yet, there's still time and you can do that. And hopefully you might learn what to do this morning and then take that to your organization or your school or your community group and have that drill. And of course, they don't always happen. Earthquakes don't always happen when we're all together, like drills might regularly do. And so you want to shake out in place wherever you are, at work, home, or school. And we have considerations to think about during a pandemic for how you might do a drill. So you want to maybe think about doing it like we're doing over video conferencing with your distance learners, your remote workers, that bring people together and do a drill like we're doing this morning. And if you are doing an in-person earthquake drill, you want to think about, okay, what would we do different because of COVID-19? Maybe having more space between people, maybe not all evacuating at once and being crowded together and moving out if your plan includes an evacuation, really leading maybe in smaller groups. So, and then if you're dropping down and you're holding on to furniture that maybe isn't getting cleaned as much down below, making sure you're washing your hands after the drill. Okay, one thing we also want to make sure that you're thinking about is sharing your shakeout. So you want to take photos and videos of your drill. We recommend that you don't try to do a selfie while you're doing the drop, cover, hold on all at once, but you pass a camera around, take some great pictures or videos, and then share those on social media. Use the hashtag ShakeOut. And once you've done that, we would love for you to share that content with us through a new form we have, shakeout.org/share, where you can just give us the link for where your content is at. And then we're going to add the best photos and videos to the ShakeOut website. Okay, so I want to, again, bring in our partners here in the Eastern time zone who are leading ShakeOut drills for states and for Puerto Rico and for the region. Brian Blake, Associate Director for the Central United States Earthquake Consortium. Derrec Becker, Chief of Public Information and External Affairs for South Carolina Emergency Management Division. Kevin Kalbaugh, Natural Hazards Branch Manager, North Carolina Department of Public Safety. And Glorymar Gomez, the Education Coordinator for Puerto Rico Seismic Network at the University of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to stop sharing the slides for a moment, and so we can have a general conversation here. And Jason,
hey,
I think if we go to gallery view, perfect, then everybody will see on the Zoom or on the Facebook Live too.
Good to see you all.
Brian, you're the coordinator for this whole Southeast region. You've done that since it began after the Mineral, Virginia earthquake in 2011.
Right.
And it's really been, with the participation today and also with Glorymar in Puerto Rico, millions of people practicing earthquake safety.
Yeah, we're glad to be doing this, and it's really exciting to see year after year how the shakeouts evolve since those early days in back after that earthquake in Mineral, Virginia in 2011. And really there is an earthquake hazard that could affect multiple states. There was an earthquake earlier this year in North Carolina that nobody was really looking out for, and they could happen at any time. So it's important that we're prepared. And this year is a little bit different. We're doing things in new ways, and but just because there's a pandemic going on, earthquakes could happen at any time. So we're happy to be doing this shakeout, continuing our earthquake preparedness across the Southeast region and in the central and eastern part of the country.
Thanks, Brian. And for those on Facebook Live, I just want to mention, I just added in the comments a link to closed captioning. So if you would like to follow along there too, that link is now there. Let's turn to Kevin. Kevin, what's been happening in North Carolina for ShakeOut this year?
Good morning, everyone. So we encourage all North Carolinians to participate in the annual ShakeOut earthquake drill. So we've been pushing that messaging through social media, through emails with partners, within the school systems. So last year we saw our state increase its participation in the drill by over 75% compared to 2018. So we were really happy with that. A lot of people don't think of earthquakes in North Carolina, but our state has experienced over 23 damaging earthquakes since 1735. We can experience damage from earthquakes in North Carolina, but also from those outside of the state. So like Brian mentioned, this past August, we felt our strongest shaking in over 100 years, a 5.1 magnitude earthquake centered near Sparta, North Carolina in Allegheny County. So that earthquake caused damage to over 530 homes and businesses, and tremors and aftershocks are still being reported across northwestern North Carolina still today, 2 months after the event.
Wow.
So we just been pushing that messaging. We still have a month left of hurricane season, but earthquakes can happen any time of the year and without warning.
Kevin, that's great. And congratulations on the increase in participation over the years and all that you're doing to make that happen in North Carolinians more safe for earthquakes. Turning to Derrec Becker with South Carolina, how's ShakeOut been going there? And of course, South Carolina also known for earthquakes. If you are a resident, you've probably heard that there was a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we get often, and as we've been promoting the ShakeOut this year, it's ever increasing. More and more people moving to the south. They like the weather, and then we start promoting earthquake safety, and they go, "What? Earthquake safety? What are you talking about?" And one of the main things we've been stressing this year is, personal precautions, but also we have in our South Carolina Emergency Manager app a new earthquake notification system that can let people know if there's an earthquake confirmed by USGS in their area. Of course, that would be in addition to any emergency alerts that went out and any of that information. And you just mentioned the earthquake in North Carolina. Well, to show you how large an earthquake can be, we felt it here in South Carolina. That was a 5.0 magnitude, or just slightly above a 5.0 magnitude. And we got, what was that, from Charleston to Columbia to Greenville. And so that's why it's so important for everybody on the East Coast to know what to do if an earthquake occurs in their area. The largest earthquake ever recorded on the Eastern Seaboard, like Mark just said, is Charleston, 1886. That was a 7.3, and that was felt from Chicago to Cuba. So out of all the things we have to be prepared for, earthquakes are certainly up there.
Thanks, Derrec. Now, Glorymar in Puerto Rico, many people know there was an earthquake on the southern part of the island last year, and you've been dealing with hurricanes too. So what's it like to talk about ShakeOut this year?
Hello to everybody. It's a very interesting year where the ShakeOut is being taking place. Here, on January 7th, we have the most recent severe earthquake that affected us in the southwest area. It's been crazy since then, of all the replicas and so on. The experience was tough. I'm a little far from the area where it happened, but still it was a great shaking. So for us, one of our initiatives is just to do our promotion through Facebook. That's mostly what we've been doing. We have developed 5 videos on why to drop cover and hold on, how to prepare your family plan, why it's important to subscribe and register as a participant as well. And we have over 230,000 people participating this year. For me, this year is very important because we're not talking about what something else or about what somebody else has felt. We're talking about our own experience.
Right.
The Department of Education, as well as other agencies, they have sent press release for all schools to participate. So that's something else that we do here. No schools have been meeting, in on site. So we're encouraging families to just do it at home.
Glorymar, that's fantastic. And yeah, that experience really, I thought that was last year, but of course this year has been a long year there and everywhere. So thank you for sharing that, and congratulations on, with all that's happened, the success and people still realizing they need to practice for earthquake safety. Well, Brian, do you want to intro the video we're about to watch?
Sure, it's the virtual learner one, right?
It is.
We developed a video just very recently to support schools in having shakeout earthquake drills for students that are at home and doing distance learning. And so this walks through some things that students can do to get better prepared for earthquakes, including practicing drop, cover, hold on. So there you go.
Thank you. I'm just going to show this slide once more. So that if people would like to have the captioning, can see the link.
That's right.
Then
that
come
link
back
is
into
bit.ly/shakeoutcc. We also chatted it in the comments right below the video that you're watching too.
Okay, and we're going to watch the video. Make sure that the sound's going to work. It will. Come on.
Did you know earthquakes can strike at any time? Even if they may not happen very often, it's good to be prepared. Whether you are a homeschool student or a virtual learner this year, there are things you can do at home to get better prepared for earthquakes. First, you and your parents can put together a family emergency plan and organize a survival kit with at least 2 weeks of disaster supplies, such as food, water, medication, flashlights, a weather radio, clothing, and other items you may need. You can also create a grab-and-go bag in case you need to leave your house quickly. Put a few supplies in the bag along with important information you might need, such as contact numbers, medical, or other important information. With your parents' help, you can secure furniture or top-heavy items, such as bookshelves and TVs, or your water heater, to prevent them from falling and injuring someone. You can also move unsecured large and heavy objects away from places where people sit, sleep, or spend a lot of time. And every year, there is a worldwide earthquake safety drill known as the Great Shakeout. The drill helps people get better prepared for earthquakes. This year is no different. Most shakeout drills will be occurring between October and the end of the year. To participate, you just need to practice drop, cover, and hold on. This means if you feel an earthquake, you should drop to the ground or get as low as possible. Cover your head with your arm and, if possible, crawl under a sturdy object like a nearby desk or table. Then, hold on to your position until the shaking stops and it is safe to move. After you watch this video, practice drop, cover, hold on for at least 30 seconds. That's all you have to do to participate in the world's largest earthquake drill. By doing this and the other activities mentioned, you'll be on your way to being better prepared for an earthquake. Visit shakeout.org to find out more about staying safe during an earthquake. There are also great resources available from the Central U.S. Earthquake Consortium, the California Earthquake Country Alliance, FEMA, and ready.gov.
Okay, well, thank you to our guests who joined us. We're now going to quickly move through some instructions leading up to 10:15, where we're all going to practice the shakeout drill. And I'm going to show you different ways that you can participate. It's not only about getting down under a desk or table. And we're really being joined by millions of people at 10:15 who are in each time zone today who are practicing earthquake safety. And what to do, depending on where you are, there's a lot of information at the websites earthquakecountry.org/step5, and also in Spanish at terremotos.org/paso cinco. So the general guidelines that if a table or desk is nearby, you want to drop where you are onto your hands and knees. That's actually what you want to always do. So it prevents you from being knocked over and makes you a smaller target for the things that are falling or flying in the space. It's much more likely that you're going to be hit by something falling than your building is ever to collapse. So you want to cover your head and neck with one arm and hand. And then because you're near something, you can crawl underneath it for additional shelter. Stay on your knees and bend forward to protect your vital organs. Cover your hand, then you're going to hold on to your shelter with one hand and keep covering your head and neck with the other. So that's what's being shown in this image. But what if there's not something to get under? You're still going to drop where you are onto your hands and knees, cover your head and neck, and then you're going to look around. Nothing's nearby, so you're going to get next to a wall, preferably away from windows that could have glass. Stay on your knees and bend forward again and hold on with both arms and hands. Cover yourself and make yourself as small a target as possible for those falling objects. Research shows that's where people get more injured than anything else, by not being a smaller target. Now, what if you happen to be in along the beach, you're in a place that has earthquakes, maybe you feel shaking, you don't know, is that a earthquake that was off the coast? You want to first drop, hold on. You might be right at the beach as shown here, or you might be inside in a building right near the shore. You want to protect yourself during the shaking that you're feeling. And then as soon as you're able to get to high ground or move inland to protect yourself from that potential tsunami that was caused by that shaking if it was an earthquake offshore. Now, of course, you also need to adapt all this guidance to your particular situation. If you cannot get back up again by yourself, don't drop to the ground in the first place. And that includes if you're using a wheelchair or walker, you actually want to lock the wheels or set the brake. You want to bend over, cover your head and neck with your arms and hands as much as you can. You might even hold a book or other object over your head. I'm going to show you a couple examples of this. All these guidelines you can find at earthquakecountry.org/disability, along with a video that is broken down into segments showing these different options. I'm not going to show all of them, but you can see that we're for different mobility devices, we have guidelines with people who use those devices demonstrating what to do. For example, if someone's using a power wheelchair, they're not able to get down and under something, so they're going to move towards that interior wall, even in a corner, where you're just going to be protected from less things coming at you from all sides, basically. And then as he's in a power wheelchair, he's basically turning off the chair that locks the wheels. And then because he has a folder with him, he's using that kind of as additional coverage over his head and neck. Now, if you're in a manual wheelchair, same concept, you're going to lock the wheel and then cover your head and neck, bending forward. And if you're using like a walker or one with wheels, similarly lock those wheels if you can. This woman is not able to put her hands up all the way over her head, so you're covering as much as possible. And then similarly, if someone's in a walker that doesn't have wheels or a chair to even sit on, you can sit in another chair, get down low, protect your head and neck, same guidance for everyone. Now, other situations, you might be in a high rise, you're wondering what to do. Do you evacuate? No, drop, cover, hold on during the shaking, move away from the windows and other things that might fall, and then wait for guidance carefully. If it wasn't a big earthquake, you may not need to evacuate. Only if you're really seeing damage or if there's an alarm going off, do you really need to evacuate. Or if it's part of your emergency plan for reunifying with everybody after the disaster. If you're in bed, you want to lay face down with a pillow over your head. And then be careful about putting your shoes on afterwards. It's best to have your shoes in a drawstring bag or some sort of closed bag tied to your bed with a flashlight and other items. We call that an underbed bag, because you don't want glass getting into your shoes. So by having it in that bag and tied to your bed, you'll also be able to find those shoes if things start shifting around during the earthquake. If you're in a stadium or theater, drop cover hold, you want to get as low as possible so that if something were to fall, it would hit the top of the seat back, the backrest, rather than hitting you. And if you're in a store, getting next to the shopping cart if you have one, or between clothing racks, or in a warehouse store like in a home improvement store, getting in those racks may provide extra protection from things falling from above if you can. Now, here's a video that kind of sums all that up. It's meant for younger children, but it's actually great for everyone. So we'll watch this.
But what do we do if we're at home and an earthquake is actually happening? That's easy. Drop, cover, and hold on. Drop to a safe place and hold on. If you aren't near a table, get against a wall or away from anything that could fall. Get down, cover your head and neck, and hold on. If you're in bed, turn face down to protect your belly. Cover your head and neck with a pillow, and don't leave the bed. If you're in a wheelchair, lock your wheels so your chair can't roll around in the shaking. Get as small as you can and cover your head and neck with something strong, like a book. Now, how about if an earthquake happens when you're outside? In that case, stay away from buildings, windows, trees, telephone poles, or anything that could fall on you. Get on the ground and cover your head and neck.
Okay, so we've just been going over the basics of how to participate in 4 minutes when we do the Great Shakeout at 10:15 East Coast time. And just to review, so the general guidelines, perhaps for most people, are be to get down onto the ground, cover your head and neck, and then move under a nearby table or desk. If there isn't a table or desk, you can get next to a wall, or in this case, there was like a cupboard along the wall, so she's getting next to that. Really limiting the directions that things can be coming at you, like falling furniture or TVs or other objects in the space. And you want to adapt to your situation. If you're not able to get down and get back up again, don't do that. And you may actually want to protect yourself by holding something over your head and be ready for, one thing also with all of these is, there's the earthquake, but then there can be the aftershocks. So be ready to drop cover and hold on once again. Now, be careful when we're about to do this. This is about practicing safety safely. It's not about being fast. It's not about how fast you can get down under the table, if that's where you're going to go. And it's also important that if there are other people around you, let them know what you're about to do and invite them to participate. They might look at you wondering, why is he getting or she getting down under their table so quickly? What's going on? And I am going to be playing a narration that has some sound effects with some earthquake sound effects, so let people know. Now, importantly also, if you're listening to me with wired headphones connected to your computer or tablet, just be mindful. You might want to take those off, have the sound come directly from your computer. You don't want to drop and be connected and pull your computer accidentally down with you. So either remove them or know that you'll be okay. Keep that in mind. Just make sure you can still hear the instructions after we get started. Jason, we have about a minute. Is there anything I have forgotten to mention?
Well, I just wanted to kind of have a little quick discussion. I wonder if for you or any of our other presenters here that are with us, what was the last earthquake you felt and what surprised you about it, or what did you do when you felt the shaking?
Last earthquake I felt was around midnight, and we're here in California where ShakeOut got started back in 2008, and we now have an earthquake warning system. And I was too close to the earthquake though, so I got the warning right about the same time as the earthquake. It was a fairly small earthquake, but it was interesting to see how that come together and that new system that we have here that's being developed by the U.S. Geological Survey for the entire West Coast. And maybe years from now, there'll be enough sensors and such to do that across the country. Anyone else have a moment to share? We have about maybe 30 seconds. Any other, of course, Glorymar, you felt an earthquake this year. And I guess North Carolina and South Carolina too.
Yeah,
Hi, it's Kevin.
I was in bed. It was at 4 a.m. in the morning. And then I waited for a second. I was just realizing that something was happening, and then I got onto
Oh, you never know when an earthquake's about to happen. Everybody, it's time to drop, cover, and hold on.
This is the Great Shakeout, one of the largest earthquake drills ever. Practice now so you can protect yourself during a real earthquake.
10:15.
This is an earthquake drill. Right now, drop, cover, and hold on. Drop to the floor now. During a large earthquake, the ground might jerk strongly and knock you down. Take cover under something sturdy to protect yourself from objects that can be thrown across a room. Hold on to your shelter until the shaking stops. If you can't get under something, stay low and protect your head and neck with your arms. Now look around. What objects might fall or be thrown at you that you should secure in place before a real earthquake? Finally, a strong earthquake may cause a tsunami. If you're near the ocean during an earthquake, drop cover and hold on. Then quickly walk to high ground after the shaking stops. This drill is over. Visit ShakeOut.org for simple steps to help you survive and recover from a major earthquake. Thank you for taking part in the Great Shakeout.
All right, awesome. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you for participating in the Great Shakeout today. So just as you might in a drill with others in your workplace or in school, it's always great to have a conversation after the drill to talk about what you might have learned. And that might look like these types of questions that you might discuss. What did you learn by practicing how to protect yourself? If you looked around, as was mentioned in the narration, what might have fallen on you if a real earthquake had happened that you could secure or move now and do that? And how might you do that? Work together with your family, with your coworkers and others. What would you do if the power went out in your area for several days or more? And, you know, those of you on the East Coast that deal with hurricanes, and this is something you're familiar with, you know, having that power backup for your phone, but even the phone system might be out for a while. One thing is important to know that when the phones get overloaded, you might be able to text or use communication apps when you can't make phone calls. And then also talk about with each other what you might have in a disaster supplies kit. You can learn more, of course, at ready.gov, at the state websites for our partners joining here today, of course, too, and in Puerto Rico Seismic Network, all the great resources that many states and cities and others have for preparedness. You can also learn about earthquake preparedness at earthquakecountry.org/7 steps, the 7 steps to earthquake safety, what to do before, during, and after, so that you're prepared to survive and recover. Finally, again, thank you for participating. Of course, go to shakeout.org to learn more. If you haven't registered your participation and you just participated, you should go and register so that you're included in the global total. And you also continue to get updates about earthquake safety and about ShakeOut. You can email questions to info@shakeout.org and follow us on social media. Again, if you took pictures or you have a drill still and you take your pictures or videos, post those online, use the hashtag ShakeOut, and then go ahead and go to shakeout.org/share to share those links with us so that we can choose from the best pictures and photos and put them on the ShakeOut website. Jason, do you have anything further to add?
Well, thank you so much, Mark, for leading us through all of this. I think I want to turn it over to the presenters in our last 2 minutes from all the states and regions. What do you guys have to send everyone off with? Looks like maybe some people might be on mute. But for any of the presenters, is there anything you want to mention to all of our people watching live that they still need to know or think about for the rest of International ShakeOut Day and going forward?
Hey, Jason, this is Brian. My video's on mute, but appreciate you guys organizing this. And it's just important for our viewers and everyone to remember that earthquakes can happen at any time, and to know what to do to be prepared. And there are lots of things you can do ahead of time. So we encourage you to do those. The biggest thing you can do is to actually get started in your disaster preparedness for earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, severe weather, other things that might affect you too.
Just start.
Yep, just do something. So
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
That's right. That's right. Anyone else? Any other closing thoughts?
Yeah, hey, this is Derrec. And one of the things that I'd mentioned, it's never too early to prepare for emergencies, but it can be too late. About 90% of what you do to prepare for one type of disaster, you can apply to all the types of emergencies your communities may face. When it comes to earthquakes, you want to practice drop, cover, hold on as much as you can. That way it's an automatic reaction because you don't have a lot of time.
Okay, here in Puerto Rico, what we've been telling people is for the ShakeOut to make sense, what you do now is the most important thing, because the drop, cover, and hold on, it will give you a choice to just protect during the earthquake, but you're planning and what you do now, the talking with your family, and that's the most important thing. So you can make sure that if the family is not all together, that they're going to do the right thing during an earthquake.
Thank you so much, Glorymar, and everyone else, all of our presenters. We are now going to begin shutting down this live stream for this Eastern US event. But just remember, you participated in an earthquake drill today. You can go to shakeout.org and register your participation today. That counts as participating in ShakeOut. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Happy International ShakeOut Day.